normally there would be huge crowds outside. People were expected to gather in huge numbers, big screens. They were all coming here to watch it. But because of the weather and because of it all moving indoors, now people have been redirected to the Capital One Arena, which is just a short distance away, and that is where President Trump, when he becomes president, will go after the inauguration ceremony, and that's where the crowds will see him. But it only holds 20,000 people, so people have been queuing all night so that they can get a glimpse of Donald Trump when he is president. And Gary O'Donoghue is inside the arena for us now.
Yeah, I'm about a mile northwest of the Capitol, inside this Capital One Arena, and it's already probably two-thirds full. As you say, 200,000 tickets were sold for the inauguration. This only has a capacity of 20,000. We understand it was basically a first come, first served, and people were queuing from very early on, blocks and blocks down the street in the pitch black. Well, it's starting to fill up. They're starting to see some of the events on the screens behind me. They've got a pretty long wait. He won't be here for a few hours. They're keeping some seats behind the podium free for dignitaries, I imagine. Maybe even some of those Conservative politicians from Britain who have made their way over here, like Nigel Farage, Suella Braverman, Priti Patel, the Shadow Foreign Secretary, and Liz Truss has been spotted here this weekend. The crowd here, some of them are in fancy dress. We've seen an Uncle Sam, we've seen a George Washington. If they want to get some refreshment, pretty expensive. Diet Coke and a bottle of water was $17. That's about 13 quid. So it's going to be a pretty expensive day for them. But they will get some theatrics, Sophie, later on, because not only is there a podium here for Donald Trump to speak from, there's also on the stage a desk and a chair and a microphone and a place for a presidential seal. So he's going to do some of that signing of those executive actions, those executive orders on immigration or energy or on wokeness, as he puts it. He's going to do some of that here in front of this huge crowd, and they will love that.
And Gary, give us an idea of the security levels, because after the assassination attempts, the security here, I mean, it is like a fortress, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there are 7-foot fences around the Capitol, aren't there? And there's multiple roadblocks, multiple checks. The magnetometers we're all used to, the ones with the Secret Service, a whole list of prohibited items. I mean, you wouldn't think you'd have to write this down, but they do have to write down in America that you cannot bring a firearm in, that you cannot bring a taser in, that you cannot bring mace or pepper spray into an event like this, because people do carry things like that in the United States. So the security is huge. One of the consequences of taking this whole event indoors because of the weather is that it actually makes the organizational thing a lot harder, because they have to change everything at the last minute, but the security a lot easier. You can control the ingress points, as they put it. You can keep people out. You don't have to worry about the open air. It's a more secure environment. So to that extent, the 25,000 members of the security operation, that's National Guard, police, Secret Service, others, that are on duty in Washington, D.C. right now, have got a slightly easier job, perhaps, than they would have had if this had been a traditional inauguration.